Hello, my name is Jason Ankin and this is my vlog channel. Today's vlog I'm going to talk a little bit about I'm just going to do a quick training update video with my long distance, my 5 and 10k distance running. So basically, just before Christmas and stuff I was doing mainly aerobic type training. So I noticed that I wasn't necessarily gaining a lot of speed. I wasn't basically just wasn't running faster. So what I started to do is I started to incorporate more lactic acid tolerance training and more anaerobic type training. Now anaerobic just means it's sort of like it's related to an energy system of your body. So you got three energy systems. The first system is the CP system. This is called the creatine phosphate system. The second system is the lactate system, and the third system is the aerobic system. Now, each of these systems are like how the body produces this biochemical, this molecule called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So these three systems are basically used to produce ATP, and they do it at different rates. So the CP system, the creatine phosphate system, produces ATP the quickest. So the type of sort of exercise that you would do to improve the CP system would be things like strength training. You would do plyometric exercises, so things like jumping and leaping exercises, and also things like sprints. Basically anything where you're working at about 90% plus maximum effort. Now, after about 10 seconds, the CP system basically runs out. So creatine phosphate runs out and you switch to the lactate system. Now, the way that the lactate system basically produces ATP is it's done through glucose. So basically, or not glucose, glycogen, which is a stored sugar. So this takes a little longer. This sort of pathway, this energetic pathway, takes a little longer in order to produce ATP. So the type of exercise that you can do to improve the lactate system is things like muscular endurance training. So that's doing basically exercises with higher rep ranges, basically anything above 15 and all the way up to 100 reps, really just as many as you can do. That's muscular endurance training. You can also do things like intervals training. So basically, where you go fast 1 minute, slow next, fast 1 minute, slow next, and then finally training the aerobic system is basically it uses oxygen in order to produce ATP, and it's the slowest pathway, and hence why you do types of training such as long distance running, stuff like that basically. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do a workout that's specifically focused towards training each of the individual systems. Because previously I was only doing work that was basically improving my aerobic system, that's all well and good. It makes your body very aerobically fit, but it doesn't necessarily make you faster. Like research has shown that you can have a high VO2 max, but the better predictor of sort of race speed is what's called lactate threshold. So if you have a higher lactate threshold, you can basically run faster for longer, because at the end of the day, when the lactic acid builds up in the muscle, it's not actually lactic acid, it's actually hydrogen ions build up in the cell, and basically the body has to remove these or flush these out. And that's what the burning sensation is. I think it's actually, when something becomes acidic, there's a reduction in hydrogen ions, which increase the acidity of the cell. And basically that will then lead to the cell basically shutting down and not functioning properly. So the premise is if you have a higher lactate threshold, you're able to cope with the buildup of lactic acid or hydrogen ions, then you can sustain race pace for longer. So that's a better predictor of sort of race pace. So that's what I've been doing over the last 2 months. I've been doing more interval type training, more sprint type training. So like I said, I've got one session for each system. So on Monday, for example, which was yesterday, I basically did a full body strength session. I did 5 exercises on my legs. I did one on my abdominals, one on my lower back, and I did a pressing exercise on my upper body and a pulling exercise on my upper body. And I was basically doing 3 sets of 5 reps. So I was working around about 85% my maximum. I would like to start pushing that up much higher. Then straight after the strength session, I basically I did sprints, and that was basically toggling between 8 kilometers an hour and 20 kilometers an hour. So I do 8 kilometers per hour for 2 minutes, and then I would do this 20 kilometers an hour sprint for 30 seconds. But it took about 20 seconds for the machine to actually speed up. So I was only really holding this sprint for about 10 seconds in total, and I did that 5 times. So that's mainly training the CP system, and my aim is just to constantly increase the weight and just get stronger and stronger and stronger, so that my legs can produce more force, and that also that my CP system, my creatine phosphate system, is basically more efficient. And that will just translate into things like, you know, having a good sprint finish, being able to take over opponents, running up hills, absorbing shock when I'm running, etc. And then today's session is geared towards training the lactate system. So what I'll be doing today, really simple, is a 60-minute interval session. And what I do is I do 5 minutes slow, 5 minutes fast for 60 minutes. My slow speed is 8.5 kilometers per hour, and my fast speed is 16 kilometers per hour. So it's sort of close, right on, pretty much race pace. I would be able to do 5, or maybe my 10K would be about 15.5 kilometers per hour on average, and I think my 5K running pace would be about 16 kilometers per hour on average. So these sort of these intervals are right on race pace. So yeah, alternating between 8.5 kilometers an hour for 5 minutes, and then 16 kilometers per hour for 5 minutes. I will do that tonight, and that's basically training my body to cope with lactic acid. So when I'm doing the 5 minute sprints, I'm building up lactic acid in the cell of my body. I'm using the word lactic acid, but it's actually building up hydrogen ions, like I said. And then when I do the rest run, which is like 8.5 kilometers per hour, it gives my body the time to start flushing this out. And as I do this repetitively 6 times in 60 minutes, it means that my body gets more efficient at removing this lactic acid, which then helps me sort of sustain race pace for longer, basically. After that, I will do probably some muscular endurance training. Again, full body in nature. I'll probably do more isolation type exercises, so working on individual muscle groups, as opposed to with the strength training, I was working on multiple joints. So so I'll isolate things like my quads, my hamstrings, my calves, my abdominals, my lower back, my pecs, my upper back, or maybe for the upper body, I'll maybe do my biceps and triceps, whatever I feel like. But that will be high rep ranges again, probably 3 sets of 20. And that just again is just, and the rest will be short. So I'll be doing shorter rests. So it'll be like, I would do, say if I was doing leg extensions on my legs, I would do 20 reps leg extensions, then I would take a 30-second rest, then I would do another 20, then I would do another 30-second rest, then I would do another 20, and then just change body part. And I do that for my full body, basically. And then tomorrow's session will be simply a long distance run. So I'm going to go out for an 18-kilometer run. I might actually try to push it up to 20 kilometers tomorrow, because I've done that 18k route that I normally do about 3 or 4 times, and I would like to maybe now push it up to my goal, which is 20k's. I'll probably do that tomorrow, and that's geared towards training the aerobic system specifically. And the reason why I do 20k's is simply because if I'm going to compete over 5 and 10k's, it makes sense that if you can sustain running ability over 20 kilometers, that you're going to be able to complete a 10k no matter what. And that's basically it. And then the day after that, I will take a rest day. And then what I will do is I will go back to the strength session, and then I will do the lactic acid session, and then I will do the outdoor run session, and then I take a rest, and I just repeat those 3 workouts. So when I first started this, I was doing maybe 3 workouts every 6 days. Now I'm doing 6 workouts every 7 days as of now on. Previously, because I haven't really done a sort of a training update, but previously I was training 5 days out of every 7. Now I'm going to be training 6 days out of every 7, and but going to be hitting each of those energy systems twice a week, with the aim of just basically making the energy systems within my body super efficient, so that that when I compete, there's no weaknesses. Now, people would sort of debate and argue, well, it's maybe lactic acid that's more important, or aerobics is more important. I'm just going to cover all bases and train all 3 energy systems, and that means I've got no excuse not to be hitting those things. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my training update. Like I said, I'll probably only do training updates, not weekly, but maybe when I'm making a big sort of switch or a big transformation in my training, like changing the whole routine. So yeah, thank you for watching. My name is Jason Ankin. This is my vlog channel, and I will see you later, guys. Bye.